Mitchman McBride. My name is Sesh. We're bringing you some outstanding action. For example, this wonderful new screen.
I love this, man. I absolutely... Oh my god, yes! Yes! We have Viper, and I might have a second Viper as well. Zesh, is it my birthday? Is that what this is?
I think you're dreaming. I think you're dreaming.
What?
Very honestly.
What's happening right now? I don't know. I'm gonna write some love letters. Oh, baby, Autumn, I love you. I'm gonna give you a kiss. I'm gonna give you a kiss right now.
Why would you do that?
That's what I'm gonna do.
I mean,
UK man has just stolen my heart. I'm so happy.
I have to see right now because it's obviously, realistically speaking, when we're talking about MJAOMODE and when we're talking about Ascend, this combination has never been played by them, so they're basically trying it out with the Viper kind of thing. You know, on this side, Autumn hardly playing this, or pretty much never playing Viper so far competitively. So we'll see what comes out of that.
Yeah, well, it's worth mentioning on record, neither of these two teams have ever played Viper, regardless of map. So, but I'm imagining this is something that, well, exactly, 100% Sesh, a big mistake indeed. Now, Viper and Ascent, I'm curious. I will say that. I am curious as to how it's going to be used. If I was calling, probably wouldn't call for a Viper pick. But I'll take it. You know what, Sesh? I'll take it. Because this is a show match, and we are ready to rumble MJAOMODE versus HSDIRR. I love it. That's what I'm going to go with every time. HSDIRR.
I have to say, I'm majorly fascinated that you know, you can actually play this agent so well, because we saw it previously. I told you about it when we had Anders, the guy who's doing excellent data analysis. When we had him on the show, he was very much mentioning that, you know, they are capable of utilizing this agent on every map. Okay. So there must be some potential for it. It's not like it's a lost thing.
Okay, my feed disappeared for a second, but oh, no, never mind.
Are you back alive, my brother?
I'm not. Oh, yes, there we go. Okay, so I presumed that we were going to see this initial orb up in the window. This is a really good position to give you a little bit of a one-way as they come pushing out, and I think just to scare them back in general. The wall behind it, I like this for retakes a little bit. It'll get you some access, but I much prefer how the attacker using this. They're completely cutting off in towards the market, getting themselves a nice angle to sneak out onto the site. JD's already managed to pick up one. They've overwhelmed the B site, and mine's lagged out again.
Yeah. Well, either way, Linksy tries his best, can't do much. Vicious is falling as an X, and as JD tries with Phoenix as much as possible, it is definitely not going to be that easy for the side of HSDIRR. JD still tries, and this man is definitely not done with the action yet, as he knows where one of them is standing. But in the meantime, Killjoy is taking a long time to rotate. Back over from spawn as the flashbang pops. He still does not have all of the room. Could try to take one from back of the side, but nope. Otom with the quad is securing what seems to belong to MJAOMODE. And I'm asking once more, Apollo Mitch, are you still there? Over.
That's a negative. I can hear you. I can hear the game.
Understood.
It's jolting for me. Now it's smooth. Maybe
Roger.
we're good. Maybe we're good to go. Obviously, the downsides of the COVID situation, obviously for safety, we're all at home. So unfortunately, online production needs to happen. That is the nature that we're in. However, we can be very thankful, Zesh, that we're in esports, where we're already used to online production, and so everything's been pretty clean on a on an international level across all productions.
I think considering all the online CS we have done, you know, Ender, who I'm usually doing this with, has no idea how online CS can be. He's like, wait, there are people not showing up to an open qualifier? How is that offending? He's like that. And, well, have you ever casted CS?
Yeah, dude, I remember doing a major qualifier, well, a qualifier for a minor, which was in Asia, and both teams, excuse me, were an hour and 5 minutes late. There was no reason. They were just both an hour and 5 minutes late. I was sat there on a waiting screen, wanting to die. So, you know, can't remember the team names, but neither of them made it, and I'm very thankful for that.
I'm very thankful that you didn't do anything to yourself. Hey, don't say this. We're a family-friendly channel. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, and no one's telling me, so I'm gonna assume no. And
you're not gonna do anything.
I like this little. I like this overlay. It's actually quite nice. I'm just noticing now up the top.
It is very
clean. Like comes down at the 0. It makes me feel things. It looks like little eyes.
Right. Oh my god. And it's a mouth. There's a thing underneath looks like a mouth.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It's like a stingray.
Oh my god.
Swimming along the ocean.
True. The poor thing that killed Steve Irwin.
Oh god. Oh, god.
I'll
let you take that one. You go ahead.
Surely, going a little further from that, it is pretty much no chance here for poor Raz, and he tries his best. Lynxy jumps around the corner, and besides that, actually the only team from the 2 right here that has made it into first rank. HSDIRR successfully heading, or more likely heading a stage further into play-in, whilst MJAOMODE had to say, no chance for us.
Yeah, that always sucks, and I guess, again, at least they can still win something today, right? They can still come through with some victory, and yeah, we saw earlier on as well, VPP, who we were talking about, if you guys were watching the show earlier, that they actually managed to best skate, too. So they've managed to make it through to the play-in as well. I think the majority, if not all of the games, have done at this point. Big group of teams. Congrats to everybody involved. If any of them are tuning in to watch this show match between these 2 teams, see if they can learn a thing or two from what is a wild and wacky show match with lots of Viper gameplay. You can see straight away from MJAOMODE, this 5 versus 4 man advantage to play with. They're just scattered in towards mid lane. They're looking for some short control, but a little bit of mid presence as well. And it's Phoenix creeping his way on up towards the top of middle, or the bottom, I suppose, as the map tells me it is. JD tried to get out, but couldn't quite make it. And Taimu, I'm surprised, running through their own snake bite. Obviously, they made a change this, which actually flew under the radar for me, Zesh. I don't know if you noticed, but it makes you vulnerable as well as taking damage. I don't know how, but I completely missed that in the patch notes a while back. And only recently when I was watching Viper gameplay, I was like, wait, what? They're getting vulnerable as well. I was looking for the alarm bot somewhere nearby, but that is buffing her even more.
True, and I think the alarm bot didn't even need to be shot. Unfortunate scenario, but we're tied up and back into the action. I'm asking you, dear Mitch, are you in full energy? Are you seeing what I see?
I believe so, Zesh. I believe everything is as clean as can be at this point. So I'm a happy boy. I'm a happy man. I'm really curious to see these Viper walls at the start of the round being put down. One of the benefits of this as well is that your wall can obviously be put in play, as we're seeing right now, in the early stages of the round, and then your Viper can rotate towards B. So normally, you know, before the buff that came in quite a while ago, but in terms of the time we've had to talk about it, it was minimal. You're actually going to see that Viper obviously having... Oh, what?
Boom. See you later. That is pretty much Ale falling as he's getting absolutely obliterated over there. Has pretty much seen himself, I'm going to pop a little bit of a bazooka down on the B side. Ain't happening, son.
What was that flick, bro? Someone check Taimu's config. That's nuts. That's not allowed, mate. He's just flicking, like one-shot him in the air.
That's denial. There you come. I mean, you thought you were safe over there. No chance at all. Everything is coming down to the side. And Vicious, you gotta be careful about that. Waits and work with Lynxy as the double is secured. It's still pretty much on fire, but that one is falling and the ship has sunk.
Indeed it has. Down she goes as Supma's got to pull it all the way back in a 1v3. Throwing us way back to the Eccles op that we used to see on an Omen. Obviously, in initial stages of the game, it was always the Raze. Then it went, okay. Unfortunately, that was close. Actually, the Ghost could have walked away with 2 kills on those last 2 players. But yeah, way back in the day, we started with Raze being the opper. Then, and like Raplan was the one, I think, within EU that we saw the most when it came down to the beta. Playing in on that with spectacular fashion on the blast packs, and even then the blast packs were nowhere near what they are today. Then we moved on to Jet, obviously when Mixwell started playing that within Europe. But in between all of those phases, we had Eccles, who was actually learning to IGL, as well as opping, as well as playing Omen. It was a crazy time over in Fish 123 and then later Liquid. And I like this ultimate, man. Look how much ground that covers.
Oh, look at all the abilities right now falling down on the B side. I mean, it's a fest. It's an absolute fest, and now you have to choose wisely which direction you want to go. As, I mean, Taimu is like, I'm in 1 HP, but my killjoy's working. I mean, I gotta do something about it, and, well, nobody has been detained, but JD, in the meantime, has already caught all the ground. And so the problems start to rise, as still the Sheriff is not accurate enough for now. Spikes down.
We'll see if they can find a couple of kills. Supma rushing in, Stinger in hand.
No!
Frozen again.
Oh, that's illegal! That can't be happening! Supma is making it possible! The third frag is coming in as he just jumps and breathes in the Viper's poison. The man is not able to see anything, but still able to find the frags. Insane job. I think it has to be the Viper ult really freezing your PC. It's the FPS that are going down on that.
That's you know what? It could well be if I was in game.
Thank you, Viper. That's why I don't use it.
No, I was enjoying everything there, and then it just stolen away. I really like the Stinger. I rate that weapon way above the Spectre, and I think a lot of players, you invest in the Spectre, it's 600 above. But in terms of percentages, that's quite a lot. I won't ask you for percentages here, Zesh. I know you struggled in the past with them, but
pardon?
It's something that I just think in terms of the value that the Stinger brings, I don't see the Spectre being worth that extra cash.
Yeah, I think the Stinger is always a bit of a gamble for me personally because I have a very bad feeling of it being that valuable. Talking about it, that was an ult, not valuable once. Ras took a lot of time pulling that trigger, but it seems like the explosive will not land as intentioned. And so, well, ta-da. We really have a back and forth game for ourselves, didn't we?
You know what? That we do, Zesh. 4-3 on the first map as well. It paints a pretty picture for the best of 3 we're about to see unfold on our screens. Also, in terms of context, it's not like MJAOMODE picked up 3 rounds or 2 rounds off the back of the pistol. Remember, they won that pistol, they lost straight away. So we end up in this position where it has actually been scrappy, not just, sometimes it can be 4-3 and it can be very misleading that one team has a chance. But the momentum, it's been swapped back and forth. I also like the fact that, we are seeing every single round a different setup from Viper, a different approach. They're messing around with this, keeping it unpredictable on both sides. What I would say, though, is actually the attackers, contrary to what I said at the start, are not really using their Viper wall all too well in some of these rounds, towards the B site in particular. It feels like they're kind of, I don't know, blocking off angles that don't really matter that much some of the time.
That's ouch. I mean, that's how you behead someone. No chance. Suddenly everything seems to collapse massively over there on the B side. We see 2 lines slice up the entire map, but nothing has happened on A. And Lynx could do magic because both of them are underneath. Both should be known for HSDIRR. 2 flashes, a wall, everything could be in. You still gotta hit your shots because it's not done yet. And suddenly it's all collapsing. It is the shotgun making it work, and seems like the Bucky, get the hell out of here.
The Bucky, actually, within Asia, you would not believe how often that weapon is used. We actually had a whole game in which one player got more kills with a Bucky than he did with a rifle, and he was not like getting 3 kills or something, he was doing well. It was just really weird that it was so heavily preferenced. In fact, I think I saw the judge once, and the Bucky probably in the region of 30 times. It was a massively favored weapon. I could see why in certain scenarios, especially with the scrappy style of the region. Oh man, is this a 3-man B main push?
Oh no! Again.
Let's see. Rask's whole purpose there is to open up space, but his teammates weren't there in time, and that's a rookie mistake. Nobody was watching it on a wider angle. But Taimu down to 30 HP as well. This is a really bad start for the attackers.
Oh, this hurts. My goodness. I mean, Supma felt like he could really hold that angle with ease, but not with Otom. He seems to feel comfortable by now with that Viper, as, the kill drive from the attackers is going for 2 more seconds, 1, and nobody has been detained. Still, problems might rise as the spike has fallen. No one is able to secure anything here on the attacker's side.
And again, back and forth we go. It's like being on a set of swings. We go forward and then backwards as that gap never really extends. I have to say, Rask, that was one of the ballsier plays I've ever seen. But a couple of issues. You're pushing into B main. Your Raze goes for that play, you got to be right behind him. You got to be ready to swing around that corner. And it came down to an issue of timing. And the Raze was a little bit too ambitious in going for it. Then afterwards, your Phoenix has taken an ult orb. Oops. You have to be on a wider angle to be able to actually cover him. If you're on that tight angle up against the wall, as you saw, a player can go up on top of that wall, take the kill, and run away before you even see them.
Ouch.
Cancel, cancel,
Yep.
cancel!
Yep.
Oh.
Nope.
What?
Ain't happening. I mean, okay. But a bit of going a little out of hand. Taimu is showing us that he got some wonderful aim lock, as, you know, some would say Chris clean lock. Always joking on that, but the flank isn't working. Mike, I mean, they're trying everything. You know, this is a show match, so you can do pretty much whatever you want, but still, it's very interesting to see how different they play.
Yeah, Sadovnik went for a really ambitious TP all the way up towards the spawn, tucked in a little corner, and I thought he was going to cancel it because he heard players close by, but he just committed to it, found a kill. Sure, that trade wasn't amazing, but at least got something done for them. Rask, oh, he spotted close. There's no way out. He had to win both duels. And in fact, Subma went for that fight before his teammate could have been there to trade. So again, a situation where you were seeing these guys play super loose. They're playing puggy. They're playing for the kills. But at the moment, it's working for HSDIRR. And that's, you know, this is actually a team. I'll keep going. We'll keep shuffling. But I'm happy I get to cast this team because I've never cast these guys before, and I saw them high up in the rankings on all the websites, and I had no idea who they were. So I started to take a little look at them, and obviously this is a very different HSDIRR than what I'd seen, but we expect that in a show match like this.
The thing is, I have actually seen this team before, because there has been this Austrian Cup where the Austrian orgs spawned professional teams basically just for the season. These being one of them, and also next up was Exile. So both really absolutely competitive in that way and individually capable. Seeing that one right now happening, it's the A side that very much MJAOMODE is capable of taking control of.
Yeah, they've got an overrun. They're getting the spike plant as well, a wall up to try and get an angle. Or block off an angle, rather. And blast pack up, decent damage. It's going to slow them down a little bit, but that's really the difference maker. Look at that poison orb. So they can sneak around the close to the wall side, the right side of Rask, as we're seeing, and not take too much decay. The problem is then you're emerging from that smoke in a position where you can be seen from a lot of different angles. It's very difficult to fight from, especially when they've already heard that bookie up close. I think the idea here was to wait for it to dissipate, which it just has in time with the smoke! JD in with a double! This is now workable! Around with the blast pack onto site. Alley grabs one! The alley-oop! And this could be it! The ultimate in play, but no time! They've not got it! They got the kills, not the round win! Jeez, what a round! Oh my gosh, so MJAOMODE win it, but did they really? You know, that was an insane retake for how long they delayed.
How in God's name? How in God's name did they fight back after the site being pretty much locked down? You know, they already got the concrete wall set, you know, the alarm guards, everything has been just in place, and out of nowhere, you know, I'm just jumping around here casually, finding frags left, right, and center. What a move, and that brings them into a spot of a 6. Well, it could have been, you know, already a 7-4, but time was not their favor. Maybe we have a tied up scenario coming our way, and that would pretty much give us all the rounds.
Oh man, I mean, for MJAOMODE, this is tied up 6-6, right? Spike dropped, maybe a chance for Supma. He dodges the paranoia as well. There's a kill on range, and just about whiffing onto Sadovnik. So we will see a tied up scoreline at the halftime. What a game this has been, already presenting some really high plays. I mean, this is what I was hoping for.
I have to say, Mitch, I hate those. I hate the gift switch down. I really dislike them.
You hate which? Sorry?
I don't know, man. The sprays with sound.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah, the upside to them is that all of those are disabled in the middle of the round. Obviously, you've got your
sure, man.
Pre-post game and then your mid game, and the mid game can never be animated or anything like that. But it is very annoying if 3 or 4 of your teammates have got them and they all spam them at the start of the round. That's it can get in your nerves.
You say it, brother. Either way, let's watch a side switch. MJAOMODE is now heading on to the defense as we see a big wall already coming our way. A second one splitting up the A side. Pretty much perfect room to, by the way, try this out. It seems to be as, yeah, Vicious finds Rask. It's going to be a bit of a slaughterhouse. Left, right, and center. It has all started, but it's time to get the spike on the ground.
It is rare I see full sheriffs in play, and MJAOMODE are pulling it out, looking to get that damage done. I do like this. So you've got a little bit of cover being provided by the Viper for the heal up to come in, and obviously Sadovnik's now being decayed, making it so easy to take him down as Lynxy eventually delivers. 7-6 we go. Some sheriff upgrades in play for some of these attackers. Now, I think when you've got a sheriff for free, especially upgraded, they could probably just go for it as it is. In terms of investing into the likes of Vandals and such, I don't know, like Lynxy, for example, right now, just bought a Phantom. If you've got a Sheriff, I would say give it to your teammate, or just rock with the Sheriff itself, because you know that your opponents are not going to be fully bought. And bringing a weapon like a Phantom or a Vandal into a round like this, it's just added risk for if they do manage to find those eliminations.
Okay, look at this. So they actually have something in place. You saw it right there. Viper was throwing a very, very dedicated one. A very dedicated smoke. And I think, yeah, those teams are opening up the possibility for it. In the meantime, HSDIRR is pretty much closing out the opportunities for MJAOMODE. No chances on their side, as once left, right, and center has been ruled out, they go for mid. That room has been left open. Boom.
Oh, LA, okay. So winging on in, taking the kill. I mean, I talk about rounds like this. Coming in the second round of the half, you've fully invested. You need to walk out smelling of roses. Got to be walking out with all the weapons you've got. And most really, you want to be losing one player. The players with the pistols, and in this case, there's only one. So that you can afford to play the next as a clean bonus with still a good chance of capitalizing. And that's exactly what they've managed to do. Well, provided that Rask doesn't come through. Oh, what? Provided Rask doesn't do just that. That was ridiculous, man.
I mean, you know, you have to get those magic moments. 8-6. Finally, we're heading into a direction that seems to be very much set, as though the road is not finalized yet. The leading squad considers what kind of weapon are all choose. Sticking to the Spectre, find the Guardian. Look out, they're just all trying to find the lineup. There you go, man. It's just that box, dude. It's not that hard. Jesus Christ, man. All those Vipers. Go on, this time.
What?
No!
Sometimes, and now obviously there's a cooldown if he does.
No, no.
Never mind. Never mind. He should have spent a while longer learning the lineup.
Oh!
Pulling off.
Wait, what is happening? Hold on. Where did everybody of HSDIRR die in the meantime?
That was a Phoenix push down short to take 2 kills straight down mid.
No.
This has been a ridiculous round. Oh my god, he was safe. The shrouded step across. That's nice. I like that.
What?
One enemy
I mean,
remaining.
you can't follow anything in this round because everything's happening at the same time, somehow simultaneously. All the troops have died on each side, but for now, Lynxy heads over to A, sneaks around, and will look to find any success, as he might just not have to avoid, or he can't avoid any fights, but there you see it. Lynxy has learned this agent. I am very much looking forward to what we're going to see in the future. This is a sign, man.
You know, there's a lot of things
30 seconds left.
Oh, hold on. Lynxy got a chance. Here's
So
the
smart.
reload. There
smart.
we go for one. Time for more! Lynxy! Viper players are the best in the world, all right? That's hands down. Look at this. It's gorgeous work by Lynxy. Abandon the previous strats. Take Viper in every game. Let's go. Looking down to move to the site. There's plenty of time to even get safely around behind the boxes. And now, a retake, a Bucky in hand, but the chance to pick up another weapon here for the Rays. It's not over and done with just yet. He's going to go for it with a Bucky.
Sure, why not? I mean, go ahead. Dare to do so. Still, he would have to pit coming up next round. There it is. Lynxy secures it. And a brilliant move because he was exactly right in until the opponent is putting the door down, obviously logically going for a reload, abusing this, and also have the awareness somebody else needs to rotate over on short. They're not doing it like that. Brilliant move coming in from the sides. And that was enjoyable. That was exactly what I was looking for.
You know, I've said two things. I've made two fundamental statements about Valorant, and that's that Viper needs to be played way more. I've been saying this literally since the beta. And the other thing, way back actually, just to give a shout out, my boy Jammies over in North America was the one person who seemed to be listening about Viper, and that guy ended up winning some of the first events within North American Valorant. So I love it. That's what I love to see. Look, they've heard this shrouded step. They know he's here. Is he still got a smoke?
Not so certain. Okay. In the meantime, JD seeing nothing, fully blind. And as Rask tries to keep alive on the site, no real chance. HSDIRR is in denial as though the spike falls. It's only 2 more men who got a chance to say, not any further than that. You gotta exit the site. Talking about it, boom. Another head has absolutely shredded.
The 1v2, it's on offer, it's up for grabs, but looks like good old Mick's gonna be making his way towards the B site. I said easy on TS. All right, so
that's all right.
The plank goes down. Yeah, Mick's dead here. Oh no, he's not. The other Phoenix had already walked by and towards the bottom of mid. He's able to sneak up behind them in an angle they think is clear. They do not imagine he'll be coming from here. The Viper, even still checking with their side turned to it. If he gets the timing right, this is a clean push. The wall's gone, so can't quite use it. Checks to left. There we go. And free to walk to sight. They don't know this, though. He doesn't know that nobody's here. He's going to be healing himself, tapping it, waiting for this push to come through. He sees the steps, and there we go. A 4K for Mickey B-Way as he went to B and made it all the way through in that 1v2.
Excellent work. Really, really saw it, what we saw here. And I mean, you know, MJAOMODE being this mixed team of fully different nationalities, consistently, you know, communicating in English. Oton, by the way, the only one who speaks this language. Quickly mentioning that. I mean, obviously, fluently as his mother tongue, to put it that way. And then they still perform at that level. It's, you know, we obviously have this discussion. We had it in Counter-Strike a million times. One language, English, but it's not a thing anymore. Or I mean, to some degree.
You know, like I gave my first thing, right? I didn't give the second. The second fundamental truth about Valorant is that the Odin's the best gun in the game. Just hands down. And no one's using it on Ascent. And I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start crying this
maybe. Oh. That is not looking good. I mean, I want to jump on your topic in a second. At the same time, I want to disagree with you. As I talk about it, it seems like Rask is disagreeing with every single law of physics. Oh, Lynxy though. His pitch is immediately removed. I mean, how unlucky can you get? HSDIRR thought they have all the room in the world. Nuh-uh. Not like this.
Watch them run. I have the spike.
Well, I'm getting those issues again, Zesht.
Tell me.
Can't see a thing.
Did you put your glasses on?
Oh, my eyelids were closed. Shit. Okay.
Oh,
good.
You know, humans
left.
So stupid, I swear. In the meantime, Submatrine has been spotted and should not really get too much out of that. Nope. HSDIRR is on the verge of losing their lead at the moment. And as we see JD leading the charge, the Russian player in that, well, Swedish sandwich, leading with 18 frags.
Yeah, the Phoenix self-fragging. I mean, in this kind of environment, when you're looking at what is a very puggy setup, I guess you kind of expect it. But I also like the composition of playing a Phoenix alongside a Viper. Now, that allows you, whenever those, especially against an enemy Viper as well, you end up in this spot where you have those walls, that are a long period of map that you cannot control. Like, there could be players on either side of it the entire time. The ability to flash through those walls and clear it after you pushed up is massive. Or you could just do what Supma's done and walk through it and just start killing people. And hey, if it works, it works. And he's already got to do.
That's ridiculous. I mean, it's a Stinger. It is the pretty much shortest weapon or shortest actual rifle in the game, as he continues shooting his 20 bullets in every single direction like it's a 14-year-old seeing his first Playboy. Finally falls. One death has happened.
Oh, I will say, first time I've heard that one, Zesht. Fair enough. Moving swiftly on. The in much the same manner. The 10-8 that we have for HSDIRR.
Well, no, go on. I will tell you the joke.
Do you want to expand further on that? Is that...
Yeah, because I have something.
Okay.
Because I wanted to say, I previously talked to Otom, right, from MJAOMODE, and I asked him who's the most adult in their team, and he said me and Taimu definitely are not the most calm. We're acting like 12-year-olds getting their first package of Haribo. So I mean, getting onto that probably doesn't make it any better.
I just had a freaky face appear within the flash. It was like the face of Christ has been revealed to me by Phoenix. That was interesting. We're in a 5 versus 2 as MJAOMODE. Well, they are looking like gods. They're starting to shut this one down, despite the disadvantage they've got. Speaking of gods, I mean, this guy Taimu, he's unbelievable. He really is. A flick earlier on as you have to.
I tell you why. If you don't know, Taimu's recently he's streaming a lot, and what he does, there has been a scientific research, which pretty much showed that people with people who learn mechanical aspects, like fine motoric aspects, like for example moving a mouse, obviously, tend to learn better when there is consistent change in their mechanic. So which translates, for example, to changing your DPI slightly every single time. So he's doing that by having a mechanism in Kovacs which slightly changes his DPI every time he does something. Every time he shoots something. That's super fascinating because he tries to see if that's applicable, I think.
Alright, okay. That
super fascinating thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I would find it very frustrating, I'd imagine, but that's because I'm bad.
Yeah, it's minor. It's minor. It's not like it's like 1 cent to 2 cents. But either way, swapping away from the topic for a second, as right now JD is taking all the room for himself. Specs Heaven. I mean, that's only my ults. They now know where Killjoy stands. Ale slowly moving onto the side. Could get easily the spike down. That's easy.
Well, I mean, the problem is retakes in this game, right? But at least the agents that... Oh, no. Autumn, he's found one. There's a Killjoy ultimate in play that can be dropped down. That can just push these players back completely.
30 seconds left.
Taimu in a spot to try and find one. He's at least spotted them moving back. Knows the other players planting that spike. Going to allow them time to move over towards long as well. Once he pushes out, clearing the site completely. Knows there's... I don't think he thinks anyone's under. But it doesn't matter, because that flash was perfect by JD. As the kill is found and the round is done with 11-9. And I gotta say, at this point, attacking side 11-9, this is the turning point. This is the round that decides whether MJAOMODE have got a chance or not, because it's gonna be tough if they allow this one to slip away.
True. Ah, man. You hate to see it. You very much hate to see that happening. As you know, you were trying it so much with your the Killjoy ult being so unuseful in that they got the plan beforehand, and obviously they're falling on all fronts. Can't keep up the control over on the A side. I'm a bit disappointed in the Viper we have seen so far, to that degree that there has nothing too crazy or special about it. At the same time, I love to see Viper anyway.
Well, they've made a little plus sign on the B side together, so, it's all about arts and craft today. I think, I agree. There's not been anything massive, there's not been anything game-changing that we've seen with Viper, but, again, these guys are just coming in, they're playing it for the first time competitively against each other, kind of pugging around a little bit in terms of these comps.
Oh, no.
And vicious. Well, this guy is certainly vicious. He's just... Oh, no! Through the smoke, Mickey's able to take a double. And it's doable yet again, but a retake still from MJAOMODE. A very important round, as we've said. One player hurt, drop into the site. The spray there from Taimu. Doesn't know where the second guy is, and he's now spotted them, but unfortunately had the turret in hand, and that will be 12-9. As HSDIRR are walking through with match point.
I'm still waiting for your most creative, most creative creation of HSDIRR. True. I mean, you know, a stellar performance for them so far. JD leading the charge on that. You know, usually, you know, saw him in the past a few times, really being so happy to, you know, for example, help as a kill, help as a Sage, help as a Sova. I mean, he's really like, I don't want this anymore.
He's really struggling.
Never Viper again. Never playing Viper again.
Oh, he's not enjoying that one. Mickey shut down as well. This is not going well for MJAOMODE. It looks like we could be reaching the very end of this section, at least of the first map here in the best of 3. As Rask falls, it's all down to Viper. I said before, Viper players, best in the game, but unfortunately, it looks like Lynxy is the better Viper. 13-9, a fitting end to map number 1 in a Viper v Viper duel.
Wild, Viper assumption. I want to do a joke. Wild assumption. It doesn't work. Good if
it doesn't.
Creative.
It doesn't. You know what? As I said to you at the start of the stream, it's the thought that counts, Esht. And again, you put
like
the
what
thought
is that
in,
supposed
so
to mean?
we appreciate it.
What is that supposed to mean? It always sounds like you're actually bad at it, but you know. You tried, you know. I'm
exactly
not here
what I'm
for trying. I hate you, but either way, we've seen one map so far. Anytime we've seen only Ascent so far. We were not sure if we'll see Icebox because it's a best of it's a best of 3. So it's gonna be obviously Haven coming next, hypothetically. I wouldn't be too surprised about that. And so it's gonna be very vital for us. It's gonna be very vital for us to now see if we once more actually have this weird compositions. I would like to see Viper again on Haven. It can be super pivotal. You have so many possibilities to hide it, which I liked so much. You can think of Viper being like in a straight line, right? You know, her wall in a straight line. Yeah, she's going to block off one, but they really utilized it in a way, for example, that we saw a Market and CT being, for example, fully blocked off, which is super, super vital, super helpful, and super useful in that way. So yeah, I'm very much interested in what the second map is going to deliver us.
I'm more interested in what we're going to see picked. Yeah, I think, are we going to see yet again some Viper gameplay? Remind me, what is the map? Is it Haven?
It should be Haven. I mean, I have to be confused. The first one should have been Haven, but that obviously wasn't true. Now we're just waiting for the second one to come in, and I hope it is going to be. I hope they mix it up again. And it's actually Icebox. I really want to see Icebox.
I'm down. Listen, if these guys are down to do that, I'll happily see it. And that's somewhere that I think we'll almost definitely see a Viper pulled out. Unless people are concealing their strats a little bit. From what I've heard, a lot of the teams, the pro teams out there, are messing around with Viper on that map. And I'm excited to see, you know, when it comes down to playing in First Strike, for example, or in future tournaments, like, how is it going to be approached? I don't think it's going to be played. And for the simple reason that, there we go, it's Haven up next. I think that you're in this position where taking Icebox is such a risk because you just don't know competitively how the other team's going to play it. You don't know how good they're going to be on it. And I think trying that in a big tournament is something only Liquid will do because they've already proven that they've got balls. They don't care about big tournament, small tournament. They'll just try whatever they think. Such as when they came into Blast without any without any smokes. Without any flashes. They had more flashes than I think I'd ever seen before in my life. But as we come into this game,
there you go.
Straight away, baby. Let's go, Lynxy. Do it, baby.
I love it. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be outstanding to see. As finally, you know, we have this possibility. They have this possibility to not waste their prac time on doing something so odd, but at the same time have an actually competitive opponent. That's something maybe that is going to be so useful for them. there we have it. HSDIRR successful, on a sense. Haven our second pick we're gonna see. And now it's about the attacker's wall I'm most fascinated.
Well, Zesh, you know what? I was muted because I'm an idiot. I think I hit.
The best of us.
I have a bowl on my mouse mat and it hit off my key to mute. It's a whole thing.
It's magic.
But what I was thinking is, you know, you're not going to see teams actually play Viper the way that they, like these two teams, the way that they will on Haven if they ever actually deploy it in a comp game. What you're going to see here is like 30%. So they'll try some of the strats that they've thought of, like, oh, would this setup work? And then they'll mix it in with like random setups that don't make sense. Or that kind of make sense, but they'll never actually try. Just so that it's very hard to make a read on them if they do play a Viper. Because obviously, the first thing you're going to do if you're looking at them and go, oh, they played Viper one time? Let me quickly watch that demo and see if that's something that could maybe be done. So I think that's... concealing strats is always a big thing, even when it comes down to the later stages of a tournament. And I think we saw it even from Doom Bros and FPX when it came down to the last game that they had within first strike quals, the play-ins, excuse me, because they took out the Viper on bind. And yes, it was viable. It was a great strat, but it was something they were experimenting with, and they wouldn't have done that unless they were 1-0 up and thought they were going to win the game anyways.
Spike planted.
And there you have it. You know, talking about for a while, finally left the spike down over on the side of C. The nade's going deep. Bye-bye, Vicious. See you next round, as he has been blown away, basically. And more likely, literally. It is the attacker side which still remain in the driver's seat, as I say so. Sedovnik has enough that. Sigma is the only one trying to make anything work. The right hand side, nope, no chance. Worth a try. Ain't happening too much.
Shame. I love explosions.
I'll have to forgive me a moment, Zesh. My feet has once again decided
All good.
to
Take your time.
disintevaporate.
I'm always with you. Listen, Mitch, whatever happens, just take your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're not really helpful.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
You know, many might think that we are toxic to each other, but I think they don't know this very horrible relationship.
We're secretly in love.
Cover going out.
Secret somewhere. Either way, finally we can watch into our second round. Viper once more doing its best. Interesting wall, splitting up a lot of mid, not utilizing the possible angle to the B site, but it doesn't matter. MJAOMODE with the better weaponry, finding facts already.
Okay, I've gotten sorted here. Perfect. So,
Wonderful.
looking at this spot, you're in a position for HSDIRR. You're getting absolutely shredded down in that late fight to 3v3, but pulling it back eventually and putting them in a spot where they can actually make this work. Now, I have to question, if I'm looking at this, if I'm the attacking side, where do you want to go with this? And they've gotten a lot of progress over towards the spawn. This is it for Vicious, but he whiffs the shot, leaving Lynxy all by himself to try and pull this one off. It is not going to be easy. Not at all. Tucked in on the side, gets dinked up to 19 HP. And for Lynxy now, I think it's all done and dusted. They've got two different angles. He is low. Even the shotgun would finish him. And as you saw, Sadal, I think, was more than enough to take him down.
Sedovnik is really having none of that. He's really, really into it. He's really enjoying his freedom so far in the first two rounds. Hopefully we see finally 30 bump. I would love to see that on this map. Either way, Viper once more in place, talks it up, and take a look at that. Maybe they can play tic-tac-toe once in a while.
You call him the 30 bomb very early on, Zesh. At the very beginning, just pistols. Oh,
5 frags.
What's happening? Why is this coming in? Why have we got Sheriffs winning all these duels? There's at least a return, a little bit of an over-aggressive stance by JD, and it looks like it's just continuing players pushing out again and again. 1v1 range duels up against rifles. Not what you want to see at all, but Vicious, take a look at him. He's on his way up behind in the window. And there it this.
Oh.
He took his time,
My
and then
God.
eventually, he's been left unchecked. Big damage done up on top of the boxes. Oh, dash out. What was that? Ali with the oop. That's what I like to see.
I have to say, that is what you were looking for. First, you know, but there it comes. I mean, there's my statement about the 30 bomb. It's coming, man. It's coming. It's on its way. He's already on 7 and just
it's round 3
rounds.
I respect it, man. I respect the risks you're taking here. You're sending it.
Placing sentry.
But what a harsh round, because you know those pistols obviously the individual I don't really care at all what I'm doing moment gave them the advantage, and as we see right there, nice angle ain't enough, and Vicious & Co in a driver's seat by just 1 strike.
It'll again be a tough one, you know. When you're MJAOMODE pulling back into a round like this, you got to rely on your showstopper. That's what you're hoping is going to drive you across the line. And I think as the defenders, it really comes down to taking a gamble on where they're going to be going. They haven't managed to get there early, and now you kind of got to think about it. Do you want to commit your ultimate towards a round like this? Well, definitely not after losing all those players. Zadovnik's alone, but he might. He's gone. All right.
Ouch! And more's coming here from Zadovnik as he's hungry. Knows where one of them is standing, at least second on long. JD knows how to deny any access, as this is the tie up from HSDIRR.
I was severely surprised there that we actually saw the ult popped. The 1 kill that he found, he was still in the 1v3, and I guess the confidence really starting to overflow. They could find that 4K and close out the round, but in the end, as you said, you know, it's not possible. You knew there was a player towards long, but popped in the head before he could get it done, and now he's dead. The round done and dusted, and we look at what will be a push towards the A side almost definitely. Look at that immediate setup coming into play, but Viper ultimate popped on the A side itself to actually contain a lot of that bomb site. It becomes very difficult to really get anything done over here, pushing into that big green mist. You can see that they're going to still attempt it. We had that kill go through. The flash actually landed outside of it. And Taimu's safe from the wall that's in play anyways. Oh, he's just gonna walk right out here and catch them. No, he didn't manage to find it.
Pick it up. He's doing hop. No! Oh, nearly hops it, but it's not enough. HSDIRR, once we're taking full control, not losing a single individual. And as they now once more find pretty much all they're looking for. Mickey tries to do a drive by her, but it seems like he doesn't have the right kind of engine for that.
Did I miss something, Zesh? Did I miss the bookie being like massively buffed? Because I feel like I've just seen it used so much recently. Whereas in the past, there was heavy preference towards the judge. Now, I know it's a little bit more expensive, but teams are going for it on weak buys over Stingers, over Spectres, when that wasn't the case in the past. I'm pretty sure nothing changed with it, so I wonder what spurred this on. This what do they call it? Oh, damn. I've forgotten the word. Thing that happened with art. Renaissance. There we go.
Credit. I really have been more into art recently, but I'm still really only scratching the surface. As in the meantime, seems like Otom is making a bit of art on the back of that wall with the blood from Ale. So, attackers only down to 3. Submob went very deep in it. Take a look at the minimap here, my dear, because I think they have a clear setting.
You know, that ultimate doesn't look like it's going to hit anybody. They're safely outside of it. And the impact, it actually builds on a point you made earlier, Zesh, which was how, you know, the maps that come in, people hate them. The agents that come in, people hate them. You heard it about Reyna. You heard it about Killjoy. So overpowered, broken, shouldn't be in the game. And then they get no changes, or very little changes, and people are like, oh yeah, they're pretty good. That's it. It's weird. I was even in the camp of Killjoy being OP, but yeah, in reality, the fact that you can use things like 100 to counter it, make it not that impactful
30 seconds
for
left.
the most part. This round should be done and dusted at this point. Oh, okay. JD picks one. Maybe it's doable now. Still, just one flash to play with. Got that Vandal, so the one-tap headshots, flash deployed, nobody seen, and time is just so low. Getting this planted should be next to impossible. Has to find a safe little spot to put it down.
10 seconds
and as he's
left.
looking for some victims, he can't find any. Going down for the fake, right? No one's baited into the open, never mind. There's one for him, and JD now gonna get that spike planted, being pushed on the left, but it doesn't look like it's gonna work. It was Rask swapped over to the Omen from what was previously an excellent raise. Manages to close out this round and tied up 3-3 again. Zesh, it's a very similar game to what we saw previously in that we're having a very, very close affair.
It is actually. You know, last week we had Nerdtown versus Footballist. And Nerdtown was just Footballist was very interesting because Footballist on split was lagging behind 6-11 or something. And at one point you saw them really. I think we don't really want to bring this to third map. So they really started pressuring themselves and pushing themselves on another level. Very fascinating by them to see actually that, you know, this was the kind of energy they cannot come up with. I don't think that there's so much of a big difference between those both teams as we had with Footballist and Nerdtown, for example.
Come on, let's go! Joke's over! You're dead!
What? I suppose it was the ultimate. The rest of the team, though, crossing when not using the wall. A little bit of a questionable play. Mickey, well, he's been wrecked. He's been absolutely ruined. The fight up against another Phoenix ult doesn't get you a whole lot, and as he gets spammed through the smoke, it costs him his life in the end. Now into a 5v3 in a difficult spot to fight back from yet again. It seems like they're always pushed into these retakes with the disadvantages to play with. Up on top of the wall, Vicious going out for a vicious shot and taking the frag. The bookie play, I love to see it, but I hate it when it doesn't work. And I don't quite know what Sadovnik was doing with his rifle there, pointing it at himself, perhaps thinking about taking the easy way out. But in the end, he's going to look for some more victims as he comes on out into Garage. Here's players getting up close. There's the dash right by him, but the spray's good for a kill. Picks up a Phantom, and he is out of here to try and save the weapon, but they're hunting him. They're all over. There's one kill. He's running for his life, but they're literally everywhere. So no chance.
You know, Taimu actually, very interesting part because he was doing a very solid job on the previous map. He's actually IGLing this team at the same time as he's fragging as much as possible. And, you know, this entire composition really switching up as much as possible because, you know, trying what they can play, trying what they can do. Autumn, for example, usually a Jet player now takes Killjoy. They're trying.
I love the paranoia usage out there in that early game, but it's actually not for the oh my god, it's not the traditional reason for the push to actually come in over on the double door side. It was down middle through window, and they've managed to get a whole lot of info. Weapons picked up. They know JD's close. JD should be screwed in this instance. The spam's surely about to come in and take him down, but the players have actually backed off completely, as I believe that was a snake bite kill. Or no, it wouldn't have been. Was that the ultimate took him down?
No, the ult can't. No, the ulti can't kill you. It only brings it down to 1, doesn't it?
It does. However, if you're inside of a snake bite, or I think what happened there was it was a combination of the wall and the ult that both tried to tick him to 1 HP, thereby deducting his entire HP.
No charges.
I think, because even in chat there, they're like, wait, what? No one shot me. I don't know. That was weird.
It was. I think in the chat they also said it was a bug. I think they really displayed that was a bug. So interesting. Haven't not seen something like that before. But you know, Viper being so rare, maybe that's gonna change in the future.
That's the thing. I've seen it once or twice before, where with Viper it just comes up that you got killed by a square. And I think that's because it is a bug where they're like, the server doesn't know how to say that either the wall or the ult killed you, because it shouldn't be capable of doing that. So, I don't know, but the time I saw it, it was a Molotov and the ult. So obviously the Molly was taking his HP, and presumably the server lined up the decay with the Molly damage, and the Molly did it first and then the decay, and so the decay technically killed him, that kind of way. I'd never seen it with 2 Viper abilities, if that's what happened. I think some closer examination will be necessary. Any of you guys in Twitch chat that are feeling so inclined, feel free to slow that one down and send it to us over on Twitter so we can get to the bottom of this.
Toxins going up.
Toxins going up. They mean business. 5-3. HSDIRR once more in the driver's seat, my friends. And it seems like at the moment, there's not much more than a wacky defense. Say like that from MJAOMODE. I mean, wacky is a little of a harsh word. And there it is. Look at it. Just for you, they brought it out.
You gotta see it sometimes, and I mean, it is the best weapon in the game at the end of the day. So whether it's gonna have big impact or not, well, we'll wait to see in the late game. For now, though, oh, nice little shot. JD, I don't know if he saw anything there, but a spray down through the wood takes a kill, and a headshot through that wooden box. Oh, he has spotted him, but JD again, this guy's just dominating the window. There's no stopping him, and coming in with even more on the 3K.
Ridiculous. Tell me what you want.
JD's a beast.
I'm speechless to some degree that, the individual skill from both parts here, right? Satanovic as well as JD are just somewhat, not carrying it through, but really making a change in that aspect. It's fascinating to see. It's very enjoyable right now. Vicious and the Cope and the entire crew actually sitting on big bucks. Can buy pretty much every round again from this point on to some degree. So yeah. Oh, no. Unlucky.
Pistol, sadly, not going to win that fight on range. JD, no! He's blinded himself! Oh, you hate to see it, man. The player he tried to fight at his back turn, he blinded himself. He's been absolutely wrecked. Sadovnik in with 1, 2, 3! Oh my god, Sadovnik! You know what? You called the 30 bomb. I'm with you. I'm there. Let's go.
Yeah, finally. I finally convinced you.
Hey, he's almost halfway there. Halfway through the game. It's possible. It's doable. That's for sure. 6-4, Zesht. Look at the rounds, though. Look at the rounds that MJAOMODE have been winning. It's not great. It's one round here and there sprinkled in between a sea of red. And with the pistol win under their belt, this is what I was talking about in the first game. It is 6-4, but that is deceptively close versus what we've seen in the past. That jumped ahead for me. That was a sick shot with the op. Straight through the wall to take it. What can you expect? What can you do when that happens?
I read in the chat. After those guys at the same time. It's insane. I love it. I understand that you are getting mad if you pre-aim for so long that you don't find the fact that you get absolutely furious. As in the meantime, oh no, Rasp getting blinded, can't see a thing near side as JD and Cole pretty much got it under control, but the man who's aiming for 30 bomb, yes. Yeah, there we go. Starting off good. Nate is bouncing off. Helping with it. Bounce back is coming in. Oh, this could have worked. Nope, not enough. I would have loved it. I would have loved it.
I could hear it. I could hear how excited you were getting there, Zez. Like, you're like a kid getting excited at Christmas, opening his present. That seems like a little bit overzealous for a kid on a roller coaster, let's say. You see your
I never scream on roller coasters. Legit, never.
Now, neither do I. I internalize. I kind of like sit like the thing for me was Tower of Terror. Like going up that and dropping. I have all the pictures and the video of us dropping, and it's just a plain face. Like I'm death staring into the camera. On the inside, I'm screaming, but I'm just holding on, staring into space, thinking, "Oh shit!" And I'm cool.
Bro, in the meantime, we're talking about that. Pain is coming in. As well, the Killjoy has not done too much. The ult from Phoenix is about to jump into the action as Mickey's like, wait, I mean, I get through all those ults to nothing? Wait, no, for nothing. Goes through. No success found. Still, it is HSDIRR really struggling.
Cover going out.
You know what? At this point, HSDIRR, they're in this spot, 2v3. They've got the right read. They're moving over towards the A site. This should be a plant. This should be as free as can be, really, because it's a late rotate. Oh, excuse me, a late rotate from MJAOMODE. Unless we see, well, Mickey's actually picking up the pace. He's coming over towards the site. He won't be there quite in time, and I hope he doesn't push all the way through. A little bit of a spam through the smoke here. That's okay in case the Jet had pushed over into the corner. You're still going to have to clear it out. But you gotta wait for your teammates, right? And that's exactly what he's done, so he can be traded on as he pushes on out. He's got a little bit of room after the flash.
Beautiful.
Nice shot coming through from Supma. That's gorgeous work. Trading out at least and putting it down. Oh no, 1 versus 2. 1 versus 1, in fact, as Ali has got it all to do. The dash into the wall almost killed him, but in the end, Rask is good for another clutch and a 5th round on the board now for the defensive side.
Can't believe it. Legit, I cannot. I have no words. I have no words for that. Because, you know, the matter of fact that he still finds that frag with 11 HP onto the one guy who's pushing from CT, who pretty much just had him inside. Brilliant. From that point on, major risk he took with the dash, but the only thing he had, there was nothing to really play on time. One shot, this guy would have been immediately being killed.
This is what we like to see, man. It's those millisecond plays, right? It comes down to the wire. And really, that is to keep them alive, Zesh. Because if it goes 8-4, HSDIRR have probably walked out with the win. They've probably, like, that's a strong position to play from as they move on to the defensive side. But now, it's that little bit more competitive. And as MJAOMODE, they're stacked up for what seems to be a mid push at this point. Moving on up towards middle. They're going to break down the wall. The slow is in play. There goes the Viper Poison Orb as well. There's not really a lot that you can do against that. Like a slow and a Poison Orb, you're coming out of there half HP at a minimum. So pushing through that is suicide. So they're going to wait and then push through their own one to get into the site and get a plant as well.
Interesting. I mean, it doesn't do any damage anymore, which is a good thing, right? Your teammates really benefit from it, which once more makes Viper actually very overpowered at one point, but no, nobody's trying to work with that. In the meantime, it is MJAOMODE who still have to defend. Oh, nasty second one on Ale, but the first one didn't connect as intended. It's a screen going up, it's the smoke going up, it's a diffuse still not stored. It has to be one more. Raze is waiting down there, and Sadovnik is not getting double peak. This could be a problem. Time is not his friend. Time is not in favor. Trying it again. Please do something. I beg you, do something about it. And it's finally denial through the wall. You have to be kidding me, Mitch. How in God's name does a round end like this? And is it working? Milliseconds. Linksy. This guy is an animal. Honestly, if he doesn't pull out a Viper in the late game, in the later stages, the likes of First Strike, I'm gonna be angry. No, I won't really. I think it'll make sense if he doesn't, but I want him to. No, for selfish reasons. I'm enjoying watching it. And it's even down to just his gameplay in general. It's on an individual level, he's nuts. What skin is that? For the Frenzy, every time he takes it out, it has a different little hologram on it. I've not noticed that before. Isn't that the glitch pop?
Is it? Oh, are there different colors? Oh, there are different colors. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty cool.
Actually, it is. You sometimes those tiny variations you can get with the radiant points you don't always see. Either way, HSDIRR in the driver's seat again.
Oh, well, they've crashed. They've crashed and they burned. They're being wrecked. They're being jumped at. They're being assaulted. And that driver's seat, well, it's just been taken over. Their license has been revoked. As we go 8-6, 2 rounds in between them. MJAOMODE, they're fighting for it. They're fighting hard, and Sadovnik, he gets a 30 bomb. I don't think I'm going to hear the end of it from you, Zesh, but you know what? It's deserved. You called it, I think, in the first round. You're like, oh, this is his 30 bomb. I said it was early, but he's already got 20. He's on his way.
Let's make some chaos.
Let's make some chaos, I think is the really right line for that.
Motto of the game.
Pretty much. Starting off good though, HSDIRR and pretty much no control over the C side immediately. Denial. And well, as much as you can try, I mean, Sheriff and everything is nice and great, but you're not getting much more out of that. Taking it back, actually. What? No, this can't be going this way now, Mitch.
Oh, Zesht, it is, but it is. They're starting to pull it all the way back. And as these pistols start to make a move forward, this is where things get dangerous. But the blast pack out, it slows them down. Sadovnik inside the smoke, gonna start to get a little bit froggy and get up in their faces. Out through the smoke he goes. There's 1 and 2. Closed out nice and clean. This MJAOMODE puts 7 on the board. A couple of losses for them there, but it's not the end of the world. You know, one thing that we saw in that round right there was Lynxy, who I'm going to be highlighting every round. This guy actually pulled out some snakebite lineups. Now the lineup was a little bit off. The tiniest bit. I would say a few pixels too low, so it didn't actually quite catch the plant spot completely, but he pulled out lineups nonetheless. And honestly, there's a lot of Viper players that I've seen pull Viper out that do not do snakebite lineups. And it's very similar to double shock dart lineups in that I would consider it essential at this stage. Oh, hold on. Showstopper's popped. This could be huge. He's only in the corner. It should be an easy kill, but what? He's gotten 3.
No, you can't be telling. I mean, for Christ's sake, the defense is still up and running, and suddenly the retake has started, and it has started with full, absolute power. Vicious and Co are just on a run for it, and well, as they grab the 9, I think they left everybody speechless over on the sides.
Well, Zesh, I have to say, you know, I saw him in the corner, right? I was thinking something, he probably gets 1, he maybe gets 2, then that Showstopper's popped, and I thought it's all over. Surely, he's just going to come in, clear right, clear left, rockets away, he gets 1 kill at most. Somehow, the patience, the trigger discipline allows him to take most of the team down before he's even spotted and pull it off now 9-7 with HSDIRR in a position to come on through with the victory potentially. They're starting to really pull this one through. There's the Phoenix ultimate going through from Mickey and immediately shut down, but hey, at least it wasn't a kill that was found, and they managed to trade out the jet after that opening frag is eventually coming in. Lynxy's, oh, what? He got away with it, tucked up behind the wall.
No,
and this
don't
is just
tell me,
domination.
Purely. You know, it always starts with a good momentum coming out of MJAOMODE. You know, they're fast on it. They're trying to swiftly take control. All good so far, really. And at that point, really gets out of hand.
Zesh, we're going to have some fun after this, actually, because I'm going to take a quick look. Hold on.
But we're not going to see a third map if this is going to be success.
That's true. What I want to talk about really quick
okay.
is the fact
Get out of my way.
we have had the conclusion of the Group D qualifiers, meaning that the play-in bracket is now live over on Challenger mode. So I'm going to
we're going to talk about that for a second.
Tweet about it.
Okay, good old Ryan Central. Good old Ryan Central. Of course, if there's something I didn't know...
Nip Rhyme, the guy that was shaking on stream. Remember that? Did you see the meme?
No.
Oh, so basically, we switched to his player cam at one point. I must find and bookmark the tweet. He was leaning back on his chair at a low down angle during the Blast Twitch event. And we were using player cams, and we swapped to his. So imagine this: before the game, his camera set for him sitting up, but he's lying all the way down on his chair. His feet are up, and he's shaking his leg with his hand on his lap, holding his phone.
I remember now. I remember.
So it looked like he was pleasuring himself, which we pointed out on stream, of course. Rhyme doesn't like us anymore. No, he's a cool guy.
going to that, it seems like HSDI. No, wait. I saw somebody in chat saying HSDIRR. I think it's actually called HSDIRR. That's what somebody said in
I think
chat.
so. I've heard that before.
Maybe we got it right once.
Spike planted.
That's my theory. Is just do it every way, and that way you can always say, "Well, I got it right. I got it right before."
Great. I mean, I'm very proud that you got it right before me. I think you're a very special guy. In the meantime, enough of annoying you. Ale's trying to dodge as much as possible of the threat coming in. He also close, didn't see Jet, and well, finally, it is Viper falling. We are getting close. Maybe we're gonna see a final map.
I'm desperately trying to find the brackets for this. And I found it! Did I?
Tell
yes,
me.
okay, so, here we go.
Oh, it's Milan. Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
There you go. I've linked you the bracket. So, Guild versus Wartha. So, who's in the same group? Guild, Nolpenki, and Entropic, and Exile, all in the one spot. Prodigy versus Fifi, Rix, Big, L'Institute, HSDIRR as well. Then the next group will be NIP, Purple Cobras, Uyghurs, Wave, Need More DM. And the next is, I'm obviously only saying like really notable teams. Heretics, Opportunists, Team Finest, Vodafone Giants, Cream Real Betis. Those are decent. I don't think there's any like stupidly stacked ones like the last one. Maybe the top group with Guild and Nolpenki meeting and then having to play Entropic or Exile. That's tough. Whoever's in the top brackets just gets screwed. I think we've learned that now. Now we know how it works. You see your name on the first set, you're like, oh, damn it, we're done.
Not again.
Here we go again.
Well, Lynxie is dodging the bullets, trying to save as much as possible. More to the left-hand side. It's Mickey coming again, and it's danger. It's danger really coming close. I would have not expected it to be that much coming back into the way of MJAOMODE. We saw them winning 3 rounds in a row now. From 7-10, they went from 10-10. But I think it's all for the cause of getting a 30 bump. I'll say it like that.
Zesht, we said we wanted 3 maps, right? We want to see Icebox.
It is.
We want to get there.
Icebox it really is.
And MJAOMODE are fighting for it. I'm excited.
Coming back.
Did you just see what Autumn did?
I'm not quite sure. What did I miss?
He tried to throw his nano swarm just as the wall came up, but did it too early, so it just bounced back at him.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, for Christ's sake, Vicious! No, it's all. Oh, it's going downhill. MJAOMODE is there.
Oh my. Well, things are not going all too. Oh no, they're really not going too well. Yeah, look, sometimes it happens. You're on pistols. These are the rounds you can accept throwing away. 11-10. 2 rounds to go, and MJAOMODE will bring us to Icebox for what will be my first cast of it, which will be fun.
We never did
and
that.
If we see Vipers play, I'm super excited.
The big problem I have is with that map is that I would not know what callouts to make. You know, like specific callouts.
Yeah, I had 2 days of playing it on a playtest before it came out, which was very insightful because we had to learn all the callouts obviously to play it because it was like decent. I was by far the worst player in that playtest. No, Banks was there. I was one of the worst players in that playtest. Because it was like we were playing against Scream and Mix One and stuff. We got wrecked. And then we mixed the teams and it was fine. But so obviously, you know, everyone was taking it kind of not really seriously, but you wanted to calm. But I think the callouts were very different for different people from what I'd seen, so just call it whatever you feel like, basically. Go with your gut.
Here.
Oh, I'll try. Maybe I'll make some fake calls. Either way, HSDIRR is definitely ready to retake it as much as possible. Talking about it. Uh-oh. Big issue coming in. The Nano Swarm could be useful and vital. As there it comes. It's time to fake it out. It's really not too much left on the seconds. As finally one has to fake. Otem is coming through. Oh, and he finds that one diffuser who could have done it all. And so, bye-bye. See you next round. HSDIRR getting no diffusion.
12-10. Guaranteed on the board. Even with everybody dying, it doesn't matter. The attackers have achieved their objective. And now we come down to what could be the final round. It's either overtime or Icebox. And on to Icebox, I want us to go. You know, looking at MJAOMODE and where they're at, they have one ultimate to play off of. Obviously, HSDIRR are in a better position, but look at their, in terms of ult economy, well, look at their weapons. They're not pretty. They've got 2 rifles, a Spectre, alongside a Bulldog and a Judge. And even that, look, they try to go a little bit aggressive in the early round, and instantly a Snakebite comes into play to just slow them down. A nice nade will at least get a little bit of damage, but that player's bailed out successfully, and the wall gone up to just keep them out.
Both Omens using their ults, funny-wise. Trying to see where they can get any room, but it's still the defenders do have the man advantage seconds ago. And suddenly everything turns to be a bit sour, very uncomfortable it gets, and Vicious in the spot I think don't many have on the radar. I would not expect the aggressors to realize that, but it doesn't change the matter of fact that they're changing up, swapping positions. It's all coming down to see.
Kill my allies.
Oh no. There it comes. Big issues. And take a look at that flash as well. Oh no.
Well, that's sad. You know, you look at a Paranoia up close, you imagine that's your kill, but now maybe not so much. This could be HSDIRR closing it at least up to 12-11 and fighting for the OT. Here comes the Jet, actually knives in hand, jumping out of the window and catching the kill. Now into a 4v2. And if you're the attackers at this point, you need to go for some kills. You've got a skirmish here, and oh, that's a free kill for Mickey. He's able to take down the first, flash around, focusing the backside, grabs another, but it's not enough. And what will now be a defuse secured for the defensive side and a round 1.
Finally. I mean, it took a lot of time, especially, well, they took the time to finally bounce back, and that's what somewhat bothers me. I mean, it has been a good bunch of rounds. They just left 5 in a row. Actually, they've left open to their opponent to finally just really bounce back in a way, you know. And it's all coming down to Sedovnik to really bring in the action for the team. Whilst I have to say, I gave JD a big compliment. I think in the first 5 rounds, also having 12 frags, and ever since not much happened. And there you go. There's favorite weapon of mid.
My baby, my beauty coming in with some big kills. At least that big kill to start us off. We'll see what more it can get. It's in the hands of Taimu, so of course I expect kills, and he's giving it to me, baby, straight through the wall. Looking to close this and bring us over to Icebox. A 2v4, a big retake to come on if HSDIRR want to have any chance of coming through to the next part. Or of closing this out even, pushing it into an overtime at least. There's Lynxy finding at least the first, but still 3 more remain, and the HP is low on Omen. He's taken down straight away. Taimu, big plays with the Odin in hand, and of course they win it when the best gun in the game comes out. Zesht, I don't know if you noticed, but they didn't quite hit the 30 bomb. He 29 kills.
29.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
I hate it. Hey. It was not my decision. It was not my. I didn't make that one happen. I didn't. You know, I would have done the 30 easily, but you know, it was not up to me. Either way, this has been map number 2. Map number 3 is gonna be, thank God, Icebox, and Icebox is gonna be obviously a big surprise. Really, I don't really have, you know, crazy expectations at that point that both teams really deliver out of anything, you know, that we wouldn't have. That's blowing our mind. But at the same time, the approach is obviously going to be interesting because, as you said at the Twitch Rivals event, it has been pretty much, either you played and you blamed yourself, and that was the case. So it has been played once. It's going to be fascinating because I don't know how much both teams also practice this map.
That's the question, right? And even down to have they practiced it or not, you have to remember this is a show match, so you need to be very careful coming into the later stages of First Strike that you don't give away everything that you've got to work with. And I think especially HSDIRR are in that position where if they were to make it all the way through, they do not want to be in a position where people know what they're doing. So even if they've got practice, I expect to see some wild plays that you wouldn't normally associate with how to play Icebox, let's say. But I think at the end of the day, and this is something that we brought up when it came down to Twitch Rivals tournaments, when it comes to these mixed teams, or even just show matches in general, which is that you can come in and say, yeah, we'll just play this one for fun. We won't show our strats, whatever. You get on the server, it's a different story. These players are competitors. They want to win. And if you put them on this map, I don't think they'll pull strats out, but I think they'll pull basic fundamental Icebox and really try their best to get that victory on the board.
That's right for sure. But still, I feel like, especially with this show matches, we so far have seen teams really do something totally off. Because, like I said, in prac time, you would really like to do something useful. In officials, you obviously try to win, and then in show matches, you have this room between because you don't have actually yourself. You don't have the prac mentality where you actually want to advance and use what you have learned. And it's also not about nothing. So it's the mid ground, which is very interesting to watch. Icebox it is. Let's see how far we are actually into getting into Icebox. Finding that one out real quick, as that would be fascinating to hear and see it. Going into game.
Okay.
Just as I said it.
We're on our way.
Wow.
We're on our way.
Finally.
We're seeing the picks coming up on our screen now. I'm curious to see, obviously Jets, Omens, they're going to come through because you want that height control. I like
Jets.
the idea. You got to steal it away. Get it as quick as you can.
It's a luck. So, man, come on.
I'm expecting Jet, Omen on each team. I'm expecting probably a Killjoy just for controlling height. Will be a little bit better. That turret, obviously, incredibly useful. And then outside of that, I think it's up to interpretation. I'm not really down with the Raze on this map, I'll be honest. I feel like it's so height-based that actually, yeah, let me take that back. Raze nades don't serve as much a purpose, but Raze is useful in a different way because there's so much height over towards the B site. In mid, if you want to go boosting through. I mean, there's a certain player called Flying, and I hate him. And I don't mean that in terms of how he plays. I hate him as a human being. He is the most annoying person to play against on this planet. He moves at the speed of light using Raze blast packs. He has he has a YouTube channel, millions of views on how to I think he has well over 1,000 hours of Raze. You can only imagine what that looks like. I can move with Raze. I can do the blast pack boost. He's got 1,000 hours, so he can do the blast pack boost. You should see. And this guy on this map showed me things that I didn't think were possible. It was like in Inception, when they're walking along in the city, and then it bends up and turns around. That's what it was like. I'm like, oh, it's a city. I know what this is. Yeah, I know exactly how this works.
Give me an example of what blew your minds.
So, we're talking about outside of the A site. Game starts, right? Rounds. This map here, Icebox. So,
okay.
The round starts. This guy, within 5 seconds, was on the back of the A site. From the attacker spawn, he was in the back of the A site with a shorty.
Are we talking legit 5 seconds? Legit 5 seconds.
I'm talking legit 5 seconds. This dude had enough time to climb up the top of the ramp and then go woo. And I didn't even hear a blast pack. All I heard was a shorty killing me. He had Scream raging. At the point where you can make Scream rage, I don't ever want to play against you. That's just ridiculous. And he's annoying. He's very, very annoying.
Repeat his name so everybody knows in the future to not play against.
Flying. He's a UK player. He's a YouTuber, and I hate him. But I love him really. It's one of those relationships. But yeah, look, I think this is a spot where Raze can do a lot. Was the point I was making there. I don't like that we don't have an Omen in play over towards the attacking side. It's so useful on a map like this. It's height-based. You can TP up. You can take so many angles that they're not necessarily expecting, especially on the attack. When you're pushing through middle, there is a tunnel on the left-hand side. You can use your Shrouded Step to get on top of that tunnel right in the corner where your enemies cannot see you have gotten there. So they will have to listen out very carefully, and if they're opping from far back, that creates a whole new angle that they have to clear. It's really, really useful. So not picking that and picking a Phoenix instead, I'm always going to flame that. I hate Phoenix. In Pugs, it's all right, though.
I have to say, I really have to say, not seeing any smoke usage really, like really controlled smoke usage in the way of, you know, of somebody like Omen is a bit weird, but either way, HSDIRR is absolutely getting obliterated. Supma is getting screwed on the ropes. HSDIRR, HSDIRR is already moving back into the back lines, having the defense rolling.
You know, I can tell you right now, this team's going to have to focus on A pretty much every round because they don't have that effective smoke usage that you need if you're going to be playing over towards B. That's, oh, my nasty little shot by Rask. He's now in that fight that ain't going to go his way. And so a 1v1, it goes up the rope. Big mistake, Buster. Sadovnik free to take that kill on the headshot angle. That was a mistake. Sadovnik was so low as well. But so the problem with this map is that it's so open. Right, you look at the B site, to get to B and to then hold it, you're exposed to almost every angle. It is, and the same on A really in pushing through. You need smokes. As a matter of fact, that's why Viper is going to see a boost in pick rates when this map is actively used in competitive, because you need it, right? That vision blocking ability is huge to have with someone like Viper. Coming in and playing non-attack tells me that they are just going to pug this. They're just going to play it out messily. But I'll say that I don't think MJAOMODE need to do that, because you got to remember, these guys just lost their game 14-12. So close, but they lost their chance, their final opportunity to get through to first strike. So they don't have a lot to hide. There is no big league coming up that we know of. So it is odd then to see them sort of hide, because I doubt this is the comp they've settled on for this map. Surely not. Oh!
And well, that hurts. HSDIRR is not done yet. JD is finding frags that should have never even worked. Suddenly even see a shorty in play. Not quite sure how that's going to work in the future few rounds. And ouch! Again, it is getting brutal. Those shots are just out of this world right now, we see from those guys. And we're just in the second round. So Dovnik is like, I didn't make 30 in the previous game. Now I gotta do it.
Your fault. There.
Oh man.
Get out of here.
Into the 3v2. It should be winnable for HSDIRR. They lose 1, they lose 2, they lose 3. Oh no. I'm gonna never speak again. I've just cursed them. I'm sorry. I thought they could maybe rush in. No, it's my fault. It's all my fault.
It is.
Again, it's one of those rounds that... Thanks, Ash. Yeah.
Anytime. Yeah, I'm there. I'm there to support you. You should know that by now. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's something that really fuels you.
So you did push me down the stairs in Bosnia. I knew it.
Sure, I did. But I mean, does it have any long-term repercussions for yourself? Any issues? Anything you suffer?
I can't stand up anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, did you advance in life?
Well, yeah. I learned, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It didn't kill me, so...
See? And that's it.
Therefore.
Look, perfect. So you can right now transfer me 10,000 European euros to this bank account for the lesson I gave you.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's a fair deal. As you're sounding like a university right now. Hell, if you're an American university, that's probably cheap for a lesson. But this is a lesson in how not to attack. Because they've just went towards B, which is the little caveat I gave. That it won't work too well for them, and they just got wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. All right. A lot of people moan about this map. A lot of people moan about everything new. As you were saying earlier, Zesh, you know, it does feel like it's just... It's fashionable, right? Whenever these new maps come out, new agents, new anything, it's fashionable to get on the train and say, oh, it's broken, it shouldn't be, yada yada. It's new, therefore I hate it. But I like this map. I really do. I think it's challenging in a new way. It's going to push us to take what we consider a traditional FPS map, which to me is Counter-Strike, right? It's a very Counter-Strike-esque way of building maps. They've done the Counter-Strike style so far, and then they've just changed it completely coming into Icebox. And I think that's fun. It's new. Maybe it won't work, but I'm excited to see how teams adapt to it and if it does or does not end up working in the end. Right now, we're seeing nothing working for that attacking side. And honestly, I'm going to call it now. They're going to get 4 rounds. I see 4 in their future.
I have to say, I'm not a fan of the, even swapping this vision of it's new, I hate it. I don't like this map. I really think I always have to take it from 2 perspectives. Would this work in Counter-Strike, this map? No. Is this Counter-Strike? No. Considering the aspect Valorant brings to the first-person shooter, I still don't see it working. I still don't see this map really being popular or any good. Because I think this trinity of Split, Vines, and Haven were like, those are actually solid maps. And it's not because it's the first thing they fed me, it's because it's a good map.
Here's what I'll say though, and it's back to the point I made earlier about if we can ignore gameplay for a second. Unless a big 2v4 starts to mount. What we said earlier was about how Riot know what they're doing, right? For the most part. At least when I think of the changes they've made, I've been behind them for the most part. I've found very few issues. And anything I did have issue with was fixed. So from that perspective, and I'm not just saying that because I work events and I don't want Riot to hate me. Like, if they did something bad, I would say it was trash. Or I'd say it in a nice way. But I genuinely think they know what's going on. Now, at the moment, I agree that this is not a Counter-Strike map. And it's not something that necessarily, with how I understand you should play Valorant, this doesn't fit within that bubble. So there's 2 things that I would say. But there's 3 things. One is that the map doesn't work, right? And that it will need changes. That is a possibility for sure. The second thing is that we're not currently thinking about it in the way Riot is thinking about this map, and that there's some form of Valorant playstyle that hasn't been uncovered yet. Similar to back when in beta, everybody said Jett was useless, then somebody realized Jett with an op was sick, and then Jett became OP, right? The third thing is that this is not built for the current meta, which would seem odd, but maybe the next agent that's going to come out changes the game completely so that these open spaces are more workable, or some, maybe there's something weird like that. And I think that if they're building it for the future, it would make more sense to release it in the future, sure. But what's going to come first? The agent that changes the gameplay, or the map that the agent is built to work with,
There's not even an agent necessary. People misunderstand the fact that there's an agent who can perfectly split the amount of angles you have to check by 2. Divide the angles you have to check by 2. Which agent is that, Mitch?
Viper.
Exactly. Right. And I think this could once more really be something that works perfectly on this map. For a little example, super cheap. Even the cheapest wall in this world, right? The cheapest wall in this world would deny access on the B side. So every vision from mid, from kitchen, every vision there could be blocked by just a wall that's parallel to the spawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's not even fought through because there's better fought through walls. So, again, viable.
Well,
whoever says Vipers are viable?
Not viable. Oh my god. Yeah, you know what I see in the future? Here's an agent idea. You know what, Riot? I'll sell it to you. I'm gonna speak it publicly, but
hopefully not.
I'm thinking a Viper wall, right? An agent who has walls like Viper. Maybe a shorter range, but you can redeploy them. But here's the catch: you have to put down a physical generator. That's the word, right? A generator. And this generator deploys that wall in a straight line, and they can see where the generator is. So basically, it's a redeployable Viper wall that they can destroy. That's what I see
okay.
as being very useful on a map like this. $10,000 right if you put it in the game.
Dear Ryan, I
have a proposal.
up with this agent, not the idea of Mitch. Lol. Yeah. Okay.
He's trying to steal.
I mean,
you know what, Zesh? I have video evidence, so you're in trouble.
No, you don't. You know, this company is run by Germans, so
no, it's a cover-up. It's a cover-up.
You can't.
Oh,
get
dude.
On the website, yeah.
Dude, I literally was called. So I've just come off casting Asian Counter-Strike. I did the RMR like a month ago, and that was a whole month of hell. I mean, of great Counter-Strike. So. Flying is a player in Asia who's really good. He's one of the few players who's just insane individually. So he was like the one thing that I lent on within Asia. Flights is the guy I was thinking about. Flights is the player. The
I saw him. Yeah.
Nobody send this to Flights, please, that I call him Flying. But that's just an association when I think of really good players. I think of Flights.
He's really flying.
Excuse me?
Both
of them. They're both great, all right? They're both great in their own right.
Oh, man. Either way, JD already, closes the case. 6-3 is very decent. Very solid work right now. HSDIRR as well as MJAOMODE delivering full action on this map. And I have to say, it has been... I think underwhelming sounds harsh, right? But I mean, this map, obviously, they play a lot. It seems like they play a lot directly face-to-face. Do we see a Sage Wall coming up? Yeah, we all definitely see a Sage Wall, I think. That could... Is it spontaneous or not is the question.
Question that remains to be answered. If you're vicious, oh, he's being pushed down. They're coming straight for him. He's gonna need help. He's gonna need support. He swung out for it. That's a very aggressive stance to take, but not one that pays off because Taimu's just a beast. He's unstoppable.
Boom. Oh no, he runs directly into that. He was flying into his own death. And Tom can dodge. Spike still planned, and there's one detained. That's the kill. Taking his time. Taimu falls. HSDIRR are still on the run to find the round number 7. A solid and strong lead they might obtain, but there it comes. Denial again.
I love the little sassy lines in this game as well. I don't know if you've ever noticed that when there's one player left, if you're playing Jet, and you kill them, you as the Jet kill them, they there's a voice line that activates sometimes. It's not even that rare, which is there you are, you little shit. And I remember hearing
I know.
No way that was a swear in the game. No way. I don't know why, it just made me chuckle a little bit.
Maybe it's actually Ninja. Remember?
Just say to me, you
Wait, why are you actually verified on Twitch? You never stream there. How is what? It's a hoax,
That's
man.
True.
How do you actually get that? Do you have to just sign up for something?
No, it was a while back when I was actually streaming. A long time ago.
That's all a hoax. I don't believe you a single word.
I was casting HLTV games, so it was easy viewers.
I remember. I recall that. Good old times. I mean, especially giving a big shout out to everybody at VLR, GG, who still do a very good job at making something very similar. A big shout out for that. Either way, getting back into the game. From all the shout outs and all the very big congratulations, it's Vicious & Co. who still trying to retake the side, who's still trying to obtain any control, but denial is there as Il has no chance to fight HSDIRR. Most likely, going for the safe to get a number 8.
This is, I presume, gonna be... So, right, from what we found in the early stages, and I hate making statements like this, which is why I'm being very cautious about giving it that, a little bit of a caveat at the beginning. But from what we saw of Icebox, it was a very attacker-sided map. Like, this is... It's hard when you get to the B site when you're getting onto the B site. But it's so open. There's so many different positions that you can move through and various height angles to play off of, that if you lose a fight like straight off the bat, you lose a fight like that, let me say. Thank you for the example, Ali. Appreciate it. You've lost the round. It's so hard to get those retakes on board when it comes to this map. What is that aggressive stance as well? Autumn just kept on going. That's ridiculous. And this round is in the bag. What?
That's a classic.
Switching sides.
That's always the thing. That's always the thing. When the last round of the half, you know it from CS. The last round of the half is always making the absolute absurd happen and make it then even work.
Out of charges.
Oh man. A 3K with an ult, a showstopper. It's been a while, man. It has been a while, and the perfect timing as well to pop it as they're coming in for the retake. They're all in the one position. They'd already been spotted, so we knew exactly what he was doing. And they just couldn't move in time. Couldn't realize what was about to happen.
Gun here.
It's a thing of beauty. It really is. It's been so interesting as well watching, like, you have these ideas of how agents are... I mean, the most obvious one is Jet, when, again, everybody was saying she was useless. And then she all of a sudden became insanely overpowered when the op started to play her. The pick rates just shot to the sky. I think it's really interesting that the developments over time that we have of, like, you look at an agent and their abilities and go, oh, this is how they're supposed to be played. And then all of a sudden you realize you're completely wrong.
Well, seems like we are sometimes completely wrong, as well as Mick and Cole were completely wrong about taking, you know, the site that easily. Pardon, HSDIRR actually being that wrong about taking the site that easily. Vicious is trying his best with the classic. You don't have much of a choice to get anything done with ease, but his teammate, Sapma, has already joined in. Problem is, both are low HP. Both are having a bit of a problem. Let's talk about the weaponry. I think it's not getting any better.
For you.
Not really looking fantastic, is it? I mean, this 2 versus 2, you've got the heals coming through as well, just to light up that HP. For MJAOMODE, things are looking a bit tough, and now even more so with Sadovnik being the last alive. He's got a huge play to make happen, coming out for one at least, and got another to find. Now the spike still needs to be planted. This is winnable to dash out of there, creating a little bit more space and a little bit more confusion as to where he might be. This is going to be difficult for Killjoy, but the turret's back online, popping it down so they know exactly where Sadovnik is. Has to commit towards, or doesn't have to commit towards this spike plant, but it looks like he's going to. Actually comes off it, now in a little bit of trouble, having to stick it. He'll just be pushed down, and that is the end of the round. Sadovnik with a 4K and an absolutely massive clutch.
All he was looking for. All he was looking for. Exactly. It worked as intended. And so 7-6, and well, obviously it should be, you know, MJAOMODE getting into a tie. At the same time, I think both of us know that the pistol and this weird mixed style that right now HSDIRR are catching up might be exactly the big issue. You know, we saw them sometimes get just swiftly onto his side with this cheap weaponry, and at the same time create so much chaos and mayhem that you can't really cope with it. And there's the point. There you got it.
Just on cue. The push coming through in a chaotic manner to try and catch them off guard, overwhelm them with numbers. The trades are in play. And from MJAOMODE at this point, it's going to be a difficult one. Sadovnik again left with a little bit of responsibility on his shoulders. He delivers once more. The heal's about to come through as he gets boosted on up on health, and they just took away, waiting to take the late game play. Sadovnik going out, looking for some victims. He's still very low. He has to be a little bit careful. This could... oh, okay, well, he doesn't even have to take the fight because Taimu's there to do it for him. 7-7. Tied up, closed out. And with that, MJAOMODE, you know, they were close on the... wait, who won the previous map? I'm hallucinating now. Don't even remember what just happened, in what order it went. It was... yeah, okay, it was MJAOMODE. They managed to take that previous map to bring us all the way here. They were close to losing. HSDIRR were in a spot where I think that they almost certainly should have closed it out.
Imposter kill.
And now we're right back to... Oh. I feel for Autumn. I really do. There's nothing worse than when you think you're in a safe area and you're just not.
Satchel out. Satchel out.
Dangerous. Very dangerous indeed. And all of a sudden, things look sinister for MJAOMODE. Once I say it, I'm obviously wrong. And so, there you go. You get a receipt for that one. JD and Co. conquered somewhat of the side already, considering though what their actual move is. I mean, if they're buying time or doing themselves a mistake, I'm not quite sure about it yet. And here's the support coming in. Vicious close. They're taking their time. And do they consider a repositioning? No, not now.
Spike planted.
Well, this is a position in a 2 versus 2 that I do not envy MJAOMODE in, and you can see why coming through the smoke might not be the best of ideas, with Ali waiting on the other side, taking heads and closing rounds. 8-7, and for HSDIRR, that lead has eluded them for a little bit, and they had those couple rounds where it was looking like it was going to slip away towards the end of the last half and the start of this, but they're back on the board straight away with the rifles. The issue is that they're not going to face off against an eco. No. MJAOMODE are not letting this one slip. They're coming in. Claws really taken out. They're ready to start slashing. They're going to make that horrible meow noise, you know, the fight one. They're going to enter MJAOMODE, in other words.
What?
What? They're all around him. This is so dangerous. One's up behind.
Oh, no. Oh, it's actually just... Well, somewhat only 2 he gets. Still the best he could get out of that. Excellent work. And this will now lead to big problems for HSDIRR as the attacker's Killjoy can't even fulfill the job. And this also means that nothing really, you know, that ult has been somewhat thrown away. No real use of that.
What I love there is the confidence that the ultimate comes in. And although they won't get to it in time to destroy it, they just pursue the fights. Look for every single duel. And that is just sheer confidence. In a position where you have those weaker weapons, you need something to make it work. And obviously, confidence is something that can bridge the gap. The fact is, that ultimate that came through from Jett, I mean, it got me excited when I saw it popped. I'm thinking he's going to updraft. He stays in position, though, which catches me even more so off guard. And oh, Lynxy, hold on. He's going to go for the blast pack. Play doesn't quite catch the speed that he needed, but it looks... Oh, that was the ult. Oh, I was like, how did that not kill him? It was physically on its head.
Unlucky for him. In the meantime, oof, that is denial. That is not further denial. And so we saw it happening. We could have saw it happening, but nope. HSDIRR keeps it up rolling. And you know what I find somewhat sad? This could have also been the opportunity for the team to play Skye. Actually, just thought about that. This could have been an actual opportunity for both the parties to play Skye.
True, absolutely. And I think Skye is... she's insane. Skye's absolutely insane at the moment. I made the argument, myself and Pith had a little conversation about this, of how I would like to see teams experiment. I'm not saying it's 100%, but I would like to see teams experiment with, instead of a Killjoy, although with their buff, I think it's unlikely, instead of a Cypher, you put in a Skye. The reason for that is you'll actually find that Skye can gain a lot of information for you. Now, it needs a much more aggressive stance, but I could see someone like G2 making use of a Skye perfectly to gain info and aggressive map control with how they like to play.
It still gives you no safety for the future, as right now the position of Mickey gives them no further future. I think the man should be dead. Nope, the judge does not speak about what kind of judgment, or more likely punishment, he has planned. Ale is coming in the moment, and nobody has been convicted. The judge has been dropped. Case closed. Heading over to A.
On the way towards A, and this is where, you know, we've already seen that Rez come through, putting into a 3 versus 2. The man advantage from MJAOMODE now as they look to equalize things up.
Oh, beautiful.
Ali, he's just shut them out of this one almost completely. A position where I feel like, you know, a 2 versus 1, you don't go. The money shouldn't be great for them either. But sometimes you get a little bit greedy, you get a little bit excited. They know where you are now. I mean, you got to find that kill very quickly, or it's time to just bail out. And, well, Kill definitely not going to be found.
Pardon, 10-8 it is. And quickly touching on that Sky point, I'm just waiting, and I think it will really take the year 2021 to arrive for her to possibly receive adjustments. It's my wild guess. Because
I think if anything, her flashes need to be nerfed a little bit. I think that
yeah.
Because it's a flash that gives info. That's too much to have 3 of. Come on. You play against a Sky, a Reyna, and a Breach. Good luck. Good luck seeing anything.
True. And then maybe not, especially Omen. I mean, viable in any lineup anyway. Additional flash. And Phoenix as an entry. Again. Anyway, getting away from this fictional argument. As for now, MJAOMODE looking to see how they can hold up the site. Definitely not that way. Beheaded mid-air, and suddenly it is HSDIRR in control of A. Though it seems like they're just waiting for that retake. They're just waiting for it finally to happen. The molly going in the right direction. It's enough. Omen can escape. Omen can find more. No, Ale is finally fallen as the rest of the crew has to go for the defuse, and they'll go for it. They'll keep on, they keep on, but the denial is finally there. They halved it, so it's partially a good job, but it's not much more to find. And it's so low HP raise on the right-hand side. HSDIRR got under control. Rask can try, but Rask can only fall.
And there we go. You know, Zesht with 11 on the board. HSDIRR, they've got to be feeling good. They're feeling like this is going to be their game. And I said, you know, I feel like this map is attacker-sided for the most part, and that certainly seems to be what's playing out in front of our eyes in the HSDIRR camp. Also, the composition of MJAOMODE doesn't really capitalize on a lot of the advantages that you can get by having an Omen in play. We mentioned it on the attack side, and the same for defense. The ability to sneakily get up on top of a lot of these surfaces is invaluable when it comes over towards the B side. A site which at the moment MJAOMODE have completely neglected. Instead, they're going for a 3-man A stack with aggression down mid from the Reyna, who I think is about to be caught completely off guard, and indeed, it seems to be the case. This is a little bit reckless. I don't like this setup from MJAOMODE at all, and I think obviously they haven't got the best of weapons, but honestly, towards B, you can take advantage of that massively. If you take height, if you play that aggressive, like look at how much of a choke point they have to push through to take B. The same on mid. One player lurking in towards kitchen, and then your A side is actually where you'll struggle the most, which I guess is why they stacked it, but leaving nobody on the B side is it's a little too reckless for me.
With 12-8 being the case, you know, one monologue of Mitch equals 1 round. That's what it seems to be at the moment. I mean, that wasn't even a short one.
Well, we gotta spit some truth, some facts every now and then.
I wouldn't agree more. As for now, the attackers try to block out any defense. Rask is just trying to find anything, but nearly fully getting denied as the dash has been brilliant. It's not done yet, but well, the attacker's definitely having one less. That's far away from ideal.
One enemy remaining.
That it is.
Not like this.
That it is, Ashton.
Not like this. Yeah.
It's done. It's done.
It should be. No real discussion about it. Case closed. It's a beautiful frag, but other than that, I agree with you. I don't see it happening. Frag number 2 has been found from Vicious, and 13-8 is the finishing scoreline. We received all maps here, Mitch. We got them all.
We did. I gotta say though, like a lot of these plays that we see coming down they're loose. They're a very different interpretation of Icebox versus what I've seen from some teams on the closed circuit, and I think that in reality, you know, you have to question how much they're really showing, especially for HSDIRR. But they were the team that looked more solid. They seem to have a more rounded approach to how to play it. Whereas it did seem like their opponents came in with a little bit of very much a puggy mentality. If they actually intend to play, it was quadruple duelist, wasn't it? They had a Raze, a Phoenix, a Jet, and a Reyna. So yeah, quadruple duelist with a Sage No. That's
No.
not how you play this
No.
map.
No.
I refuse to believe that.
True. I agree with you. Yet at the same time, I think it's just them really trying it out. I don't know how much they practice it, right? So that once more leads to the question: how much can we actually really expect anything from them? They probably just play it as casual and loose as they wanted to, and that's fine. That's the way it is. That has been an exciting show match, I have to say, because we once more have seen the pros take it different because it's not that official environment, but at the same time, they maybe felt a little bit more loose, trying new agents, and I think that's the fun part of all of that.
Yeah, exactly, right? You get a little bit of fun mixed in there, a couple of plays that we were a little bit excited about. I mean, that raised 3K with the showstopper, it was something that you think back to beta, you saw all the time. That was a completely normal thing to see, but then we end up in this point where people know how to play versus Ray. She has her ult, don't group up. You take the fight straight away and just completely negate her ultimate. But obviously, right here, there was a little bit of chaos. There was a little bit of pug mentality. Maybe comms weren't quite as clear, and so we result in that fantastic little 3K that we saw, and lots of different plays like it. It's the fun part of Valorant. I've missed that a little bit.
True. I mean, I enjoyed it very much. I had a great time with it, and I think you will see much more of this great, amazing pro teams play with Valorant. Don't worry, we'll be back next week. This has been Valorant. This has been the 19th of November, where the wonderful Mitch Man has stepped in for Ender. I hope this man will recover quite well as well. Other than that, see you guys next time. See you guys next week. Same time, same day. So bye-bye.